In today's video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing what I call funnel rescue. Funnel rescue is where I take a funnel that is basic, that has the content that we already want to use, and I update it and make it fresh and brand new, the look and the feel, so that it converts better and gets more people to get our offer. So, what I'd like to do first, so it's kind of like my wife's favorite thing in the world, HGTV, where they have a house rescue or redo my house. And just so you know, I'm going to show what we're going to go over. I'm going to ask Tobin and Sarah to talk for just a minute because this is their site and what their business is about. If everybody can hold their questions until I'm done showing and explaining everything that I've done. Sarah or Tobin, if you could please let us know, and I'm going to share my screen so they could see the old page, what your business in 5 minutes or in a couple minutes is about.
Tobin, do you want this one?
Oh, you go for it.
This is my side. So the happiness department is a app that we've created that helps teach happiness as a skill instead of something that you earn. So this homepage that we're working on is basically just educating people about the app and trying to get them there because there's 3 free courses and 2 paid courses on there.
What was your impetus of the reason that you built this site and why you're running this business?
So the reason we're running this business is because for the last 11 years, Tobin and I have been truly tested in how to maintain happiness during really crazy things that can happen. So 11 years ago, I was rear-ended in a really basic car accident, but it resulted in a traumatic brain injury that put me in bed and out of my life for almost 8 years. I keep kind of like, we called it the cave when I had to go in my room and I'd resurface out of the cave and like peek my head out and then come back. And during that time, we learned a lot of different tools and skills on how to survive that right as COVID was hitting. So then we dealt with that, which a lot of people did. And right as COVID was ending, Tobin had a hat made that said unshakable. And it's like the universe was like, really, let's try you. And literally, as we're driving out of the store with the unshakable hat, we got T-boned.
We
And
challenged the universe and the universe won.
it did. They T-boned us. This was 3 years ago. And Tobin suffered a non-contact concussion. So his head didn't hit anything, but he actually still got a concussion. And he lost the use of his right hand. And as a photography studio at the time, that was really hard to come back from. And I'm still waiting. I tore my rotator cuff in the accident, and I'm still waiting 3 years later to talk to a surgeon about that.
Sorry,
Yes.
I was going to add, in a nutshell, we were running a thing called out of the pandemic business growth initiative where we help people AI simplified to really how to use AI. We wrote a book on it a few years ago, and we realized, like money, AI is neither good nor bad. It's about the user. And we didn't want to teach people how to use it when people were using it poorly. And if people can people better, then they can use AI. So before we do our business growth initiative, let's really help people just be better people. And so that's ultimately was born this because it was what people came to us more than anything else was they wanted to know, okay, you help us with business, you've helped businesses do some big numbers, but how do you keep waking up each day doing what you do and dancing in grocery store aisles or laughing the way you do? So we created a tool, which was this app was to show people how to rethink happiness and that it's a learnable skill, not something at the end of trying to be achieved.
Well, so I was very inspired by what you told me. We gotta suss this up because happiness is a really big part. So what we have here, just to go over what we're looking at for the site, is we have a lot of words and it doesn't have a lot of points. And we don't even realize right off the bat that it's an app, that it's something that you can use on your iPhone or your Android, I assume, or if that's coming. So we really don't even know what it's for. We don't actually see any images of the app. What we have is a lot of words, and the words are actually pretty good. So I've read through the whole thing, but it's a lot. It's kind of word heavy. So we have this section where we're starting, and this is very typical funnel with the pain. We're starting with the pain, have been taught that happiness is something we have to earn through different check marks and stuff like that. And then being told to grab the app now, which we still haven't seen. Happiness is a skill you can start learning today, explaining that, still leading with a little bit of the pain, and then going to the joy of joining the movement, and then showing what's inside. And it's kind of deep what's inside and a lot of information, which is a lot for one page and one person to read through. So I'm going to show the big reveal and explain my thoughts and methodologies of what I did in order to change this up. So I've built this inside of High Level in the white label version called the for the Prepare Performer called Star Funnels, which is amazing. Shout out to Molly Mahoney. And this is the new page.
Do we chant? Would
So
you do the refresh? Oh, snap.
I should have done the big reveal. Move that bus. Move that bus.
Yeah. So do the refresh. Do
Refresh
the
site.
refresh.
So I'll do it
Refresh
again.
that site. Ooh,
I'll
refresh
cut
that site.
in the
Let's do
video.
that.
I'll cut.
Refresh the site.
All right. And here is the new version. All right. So what have we done here? We've put the app front and center because that's what we're doing. And we are posing the question, what if true happiness isn't something that can achieve, but is actually a learnable skill? So we are pointing to the fact that this is an app and something that you can get right now because we've got to capture them in the moment. And since it is a movement, we're putting that all up at the front, above the fold, easy to get to, because a lot of times, especially with an app, people just want it. And because happiness isn't a mystery or a stroke of luck, it's a skill that you can build. And that's really kind of hit me in the solar plexus as I was reading through all the copy. If we look over at the old one, we're not getting that. We're not feeling that because we're leading with the pain. And the information about how cool this app is buried, and I captured it all the way down here and I brought it to the top. So that's the first thing I did. And then asked somebody to try for free and immediately off the bat. But then I'm getting deep into what it's about. So what we have is too many of us have been taught that happiness is something we earn after we check all the right boxes. So I took that information and I see smiles on your faces, which is good. So I created this graphic, which has all these things in here. See, you had car and house, so I broke those apart and kind of gave a nice dial with everything with a big check mark so that it's graphically very cool. Now, again, venture for them to grab the app. In this area, now this area I'm very excited about. So this is the same area as over here, but this is the only image I have. And if you've noticed, half her hair is cut off and so is her arm. So I used Photoshop, which has a new AI generation formula in there that allows us, I'm going to stop sharing this screen and share my Photoshop screen. So this is actually AI generated. So from the original, I have just this image and I had it expanded and made a new part of the image right there. So that is actually not real. That is AI created that with Photoshop and did, and it's beautifully matching hair. It came out really good. It got her little ringlet curls and so forth. And then I filled it in the rest of the way and made it bigger, gave it a new background, and there we have it. We have the brand new big image that I could then use inside of the funnel, which is just so amazing to me what technology can do, which we could never do before. If we had a cut off image, we were basically stuck with it. And now we don't have to deal with that. In this area, I'm giving more examples of what the app has inside. In the original one over here, we have broken out what's inside the app, but it's a lot of information. And this is something that's key. If we give them too much information, they're not going to get the point of it, and they're just going to stop reading. So what we've done here is we've broken it up and made it smaller, and then basically like this is the nugget of what the app is. And it's also showing the prices of what this is. Now, what we're going to do later that we didn't have time to do today is add learn mores to all these so that all of this information, which is still good, which is still relevant, can be on a learn more page where it could be exactly, Tobin, where it's all brought together in one section for somebody who wants to go further. Now, and then after that, we close with not just another self-help program, it's a movement. So that is right down here. I did not have to expand this one, but I did need to get rid of the light blue. So I actually deleted that background and added a new background so it all matches, all clean. And we have one more part of this. I have made this so that it is mobile. So if we look at it mobily, it still works. And all that information is there, easy to use because as an app, probably people are going to be looking at it on their phone. So we have to assume that everything that we build, because 70% of your traffic is always going to be online, you want to make sure that it's in here. This is smaller and these are centered. And if I look away, when I pull away, now they're left justified and it's over to the right. It's not on top. And we're doing that because inside Star Funnels, where we've built it, I have the ability to turn things on or off depending on if it's mobile or not. So it's a very, very cool device. And we use Star Funnels to build this, which is a white label GHL. It took about 2 hours for me to redo this page and it is yours to enjoy, but it's just showing the power of what can be done when you've taken an older site, not even older because you just built this, to take this and really kind of put ourselves in people's shoes. And what are they here for? And how are they going to view our content? Making sure to always show them, right off the bat, what they're going to sell. You don't need to get into the deep nitty gritty if you're selling an item that's inexpensive, which in this case is free. If you are selling something that's very high price, like a high price course, $9.97, something like that, then yeah, you got to have a crazy sales page, but not in this case. So Sarah, Tobin, welcome to your new page that you can use and expand your mission. I hope that you bring a lot of joy and a lot of happiness to a lot of people. What do you guys think?
I love it because it's something I wouldn't have even thought of, like having it, of course it's an app, and so it needs to show right away that it's an app. So the way that you've done above the fold, I would have never come up with on my own. So that I really appreciate.
Now, can you see the subtle thing that I've done here with this image?
Is it the echoing of the circle behind it?
Right.
Or...
So we have two eyes and a smile. So this is a smiley face. I am literally picked these images and positioned it like this to try to have some kind of smiley face. Sometimes humans can pick that up, but since your whole thing is a smiley face, that's the reason I did that. So, Tobin, what do you think?
Flabbergasted, my friend. This is I leave the check mark because of course we're talking about people who normally check the boxes, and that's why and they're too busy doing that. It's also there's an implication, the subtle implication, right? What we're smuggling into their brain is by going through this course, you're going to have a check mark on all those things in a real checkbox. So it's the duality of it it's awesome. I mean, this is our whole belief, and this is why it's free. And actually, we're giving away even the $60 one this weekend. I want to celebrate the first day of spring. We've had a little bit of financial success this week. We thought, let's give away even that because I believe be of some benefit to every person's path you cross, not just those who can afford you. And this is going to be that accessible skill to just help people live better and more flourishing, to help each other. This is amazing. You've epitomized in how you helped us. The whole purpose and the goal is to help people realize their potential to be their best selves. And you've helped our site today realize its potential and become its best self. So thank you.
Oh, wonderful. That's fantastic. I believe in this mission. So I think that this is really a good one to work with. And I appreciate all the love inside the comments. You guys are absolutely the best.
Can't wait to share this video. I'm going to share your YouTube video. I can show our website, but show what you've done before and after. I'm going to be posting this everywhere, what you've done. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate that. That's fantastic.
I think it was said on the call too that when you have the photos or the website or something that you're excited about, it makes it much easier to share yourself.
What I love about what we see here is something that you guys have. Your use of colors are so bright and so refreshing. It was a joy to work on. If you guys see, we moved a lot of things around on this page from where they were originally. So for instance, if you look over here, I've got this line here, happiness is a skill you can start learning today. That's what the core message is about. That was buried all the way down, somewhere down over this way. So I took that and I brought it all the way to the top because that's our core message. So we always want to be working with our core message. Everything has a theme. Tobin is admitting it, but he's actually a screenwriter. And the thing about being a screenwriter, because I've read a lot of screenwriting books, never written one before, but is that it always has to be on a theme. There's always a theme for the movie. So whatever the movie is, it's a hero's journey or whatever it is, there's always a theme to something. And the theme of this page and the theme of what they're doing is happiness is a skill you can learn. So every part of this has to be based on that. So whenever you're working on any of your funnel pages and trying to figure out what your message is, always think about what the core is. Even if you're using something like ChatGPT to write it, make sure that you have a singular thought in your mind, and that's what we're leading off as. Okay. So if we're learning and doing something, when you're writing something out, always make it where it's the direction and the theme that you want.
An important thing, the most important thing about filmmaking and storytelling in general is tension. You never tell them what they want to know when they want to know it. You only tell them what they want to know when they need to know it. And otherwise, why would they keep watching? And I think you've done that here. I think from the question of what if true happiness isn't something you can achieve, but is actually a learnable skill, we don't give them the answer right away. They have to scroll, say, okay, what if is join the movement? It's more than luck, but what's in the app? And so you've created a beginning, middle, and an end to the site, which is what storytelling is all about, by not telling them what they need to know when they want to know it, only telling them when they need to know it. So I love the way you've gone through in that order to epitomize creating some tension that they want to know more.
Yeah, actually, if you want to read more on what Tobin is talking about, and I'm sure everybody in this room has heard about his story brand, it really talks about that. When you have your landing pages, a lot of that stuff, it's a journey. And everything that you're reading, whenever you're reading a sales page, you want it to be a journey. We're going from what it is, then we're going to the pain, then we're going to the discovery after the pain, like, how do I fix this? We're going from, I don't know I have a problem, but I know that there's something wrong. I don't know what the problem is, to how do I fix the problem? This is how you fix the problem. And then you're going to have success. So it is a story. And then you're going to have that with everything. But because it's a smaller item and we can get them right off the bat, bang, we hit them with the app. The coloring of some of these words, I'm actually trying to say double statements. What if true happiness isn't something you can achieve, but is actually learnable skill? True happiness, a learnable skill. So when you're doing your pages and you're working with your colors, see what big lines that you can maybe add another line in there subtly. We have too many of us have been taught that happiness is something that we earn. Have been taught that happiness is something that we earn. That's the core of the question. And that's why you have the underline here. You can start learning today. Happiness is a skill you can start learning today, but I'm also pointing out you can start learning today. So it's the nowness of it. And we could go further and further and get deeper and deeper, but that's a little the reason why I made those choices. So whenever you're looking at a page, notice what they're doing subtly and while they're pointing things out. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for Website Rescue this week with the Happiness Department app. I hope that this is something that you can use to see how real people work with taking an old design and making it new. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.